live from our classic rock prog corner segment. Stay tuned for a tutorial on the iconic introduction to Yes, Steve Howe, the guitarist of Yes, Roundabout. And we shall be studying about 5 different concepts. And of course, there's always more, but let's say 5 major categories that will allow you or help you, enable you, however you want to put it, to play this. We shall be right back. I know Instagram folks, you can't see my play like a pro. Switch over to YouTube.
At String Sound Studios.
Good day. Hi, Mike Violette of String Sound Studios, and glad you joined us. I'm going to play that a little bit better next time, sorry. Trying to get my hands used to playing here on the old Godin multi-act here. So we are going to be learning Yes's live stream here, and we're live streaming. And we're going to be learning Yes's introduction to the Roundabout. So let's get started. Okay, so some of the things I talked about, or I will be talking about, will be rubato, harmonics, fingerstyle concepts, pull-offs, counterpoint, guitar effects, and I'm using, and the guitar I'm using, all right? So hopefully you can all hear me out there, and the chat box is working, and everything sounds good. So if you're listening, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know if you can hear it out there. All right, let's get going. Now, one of the things that you have to do is when you play this, all right, you got to realize in the beginning there's a lot of free time. And one of the things I'm using here, I'll go over to the effects, is I'm using a volume pedal, all right? So there's a lot going on just in this little introduction here. So we have to really work on it and get it together. Now, when you're using the volume pedal, okay, when you're using it, you have to have it all the way off. Okay? So if I do this here, right, and I play this, see, you can't hear that, right? So I'm playing this, and then I'm going to kick in my volume pedal. Then I hit the harmonic. Now, what I do there is I back off a little bit. So right away, we're talking about the volume pedal, and we're talking about rubato, because this rubato means free time, and harmonics. So we got a whole bunch of things. I'm going to get more into the concepts, but I think it's important to be able to use that volume pedal correctly, all right? And again, so you have the volume pedal. I'm using the Dunlap volume pedal, the GVDP8 or something, okay? And you have to have the pedal all the way off. What I'm doing here is hitting like an E minor chord or an E root and fifth. So I have this, right? Then I start slowly depressing the volume pedal, right? So I get this. Into my harmonics. So if you take a listen again, I'm going to do it one more time, okay? You can't hear this here. Can't hear this so good. You want this here. What I would do is hit this loud, okay? So the notes don't decay and they keep sustaining. Then when you add the volume pedal, it pulls up that volume. If you listen to the introduction to this, that's what they do. And it's more or less done on the keyboard. I guess Wakeman's doing it on the keyboard when they do it live. So Steve Howe, I don't think he's using a volume pedal, although he could. All right, here we go. But it's more of a keyboard note in the beginning. All right, I've seen them live. I forget exactly what they do. So here we go. We have this here. Loud. Hit it hard. I'm hitting like an E minor or an E root and fifth chord here. Now, what I do there is I back off. All right, I back off a little bit, and there's a lot to talk about just what we're doing. All right, so we got through a little bit of the volume pedal. I'm going to continue that when I go to that C note. All right. Now, when you're doing harmonics, I don't want to get into why it works, but this is generally at the 12th fret. This is generally the halfway point from here to here. So your harmonics are going to ring, okay? And these are the same notes as the open string, just like if you press down. The way to do a harmonic, I tell people, the way to approach it properly with your fretting hand, in my case, my left hand, with your fretting hand, okay, is touch it right over the fret when you do a harmonic. Okay, I could zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see this. All right. You can see what I'm doing. You don't need to see the whole guitar here and everything. So I'll play here. So watch. When I'm doing this, right? Then what Steve Howe does, now a lot of people do, they do this or they pick it. It's almost like an arpeggio, but it's harp-like, right? That's what arpeggio means. So we're going to do this. That's what I'm hearing more when he does this. All right. So we have that. We do the volume pedal. We get a loud volume up to here. Then I back the volume pedal off about halfway. Why? So I could come back up to it when I go to that C chord. All right, and you'll see that in a little while. All right, let me situate a little bit better here. So let's try that again, and so you can listen. All right, here we go. All right, so let's get that first lick. And remember, on the harmonics, lightly touch right over the fret. Not here, not on the fret, right? But right over the actual fret. So we don't want to press down. And remember to kind of drag it a little bit. I like to play this in fifth. I believe he plays it there. I didn't watch Steve Howe play it, and I'm trying to keep you in position as much as possible. But that first riff goes like this. So you have those 16th note triplets. All right, we're going to play right here. We're going to play this note, which is a B. Fifth position on the guitar. 3, 5. Here's my fifth position. And he does a lot of vibrato on that. Now watch here. So I'm playing between the first and second string in fifth position. That might be. Go here to the A. That'll be on the first string, and we're going to do a hammer and a pull-off. Now, the way you want to do the hammer, okay, and the pull-off, of course, you're going to play this note, this by use of your left, in my case, my fretting hand, okay, my left hand. Only you're going to play that A, B, A. It's going to be A, B, A. So you have to pick the A. Play this B. When you do this, now I want to bring something out about hammers and pull-offs. When I'm hammering, and I know I have a pull-off, and generally when I'm hammering anyway, I want to play it more here. See that? I want to play with more of this part of my finger. All right, up here, I don't want to play it back. I don't want to play it here so much. All right, I want to play it here. Why? Because when I pull it off, I don't want to grab the string too much. So if I'm playing here, let me show you. If I'm playing here, You see the little indentation in my finger? I'm going to grab that string and pull too much of that, put it out of tune. So I'm playing more by my nail. And I'm going. Okay? And when I do the pull off, folks, when I do the pull off, okay, I'm snapping now. I'm not snapping way out. Okay? I'm snapping down towards the ground. It's like if I'm on this string, I'm resting on the next string. All right, so let's take a listen to that first riff there. We did the harmonic, okay? Now I do something here. I do a hinge move. I'm playing that with this part of my finger. You don't have to. I just like that because I'm coming back to here. So, yes, I use this part of my finger here to play notes. Because it keeps me, instead of going like this, right, and then jumping to here, I'm already set up for this. All right, my hand is already square to the fretboard, and then I can go back to this. All right. Then we go back to here again. Remember, I would do it slow. You're doing this wave here. So you have this. All right, so let me take it from the beginning, volume pedal and everything, and take a look, listen to it. All right, here we go. Remember, I'm going to play this chord here. Volume is off right now, see? And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit more about fingerstyle here. All right, here we go. Ready? Nice and loud. All right, so we're going to do the next lick. We did this. Then we go back to the harmonic separately. So that's a little bit less, right? It's almost the same thing. You go, and you hold that F sharp. I just throw some vibrato in there, nice and loose. Then you go to fourth position here, and you're going to play the 16th note figure to an 8th note. That's all hammered. You're going to play this note here on the third string. 1, 2, 5. Go to the fourth string. Then go to a C. So watch this. And then that's where the volume pedal is going to come in again. We're going to talk about what's the best way to do that. You don't have to run out and get a volume pedal to do this. I would just suggest practicing it first, the volume pedal, and then without the volume pedal, and then get it going. Okay? So it's an interesting introduction to a tune. Love Steve Howe, probably inspired me to play. This goes back to like 1972, this album. So, I'm dating myself here. But I didn't start playing in 72. And I started playing yesterday. All right. Sometimes I feel like that. Anyway, so we go back to here. That's your next lick. So you have this. Go to here, your 3rd fret on your 5th string. Okay? And then that's where the volume pedal is going to come in again. So remember, I'm playing using the volume pedal all the way up, hitting that harmonic loud, backing it off once I hit this. Right? Why am I doing that? Because I want to hit the volume pedal here again. All right, when I'm on that C, so then bring it up. So if I'm all the way loud, I have nowhere else to go if I'm all the way forte or fortissimo, whatever you want to say. All right, let's do the second part. All right, so yeah, I'll take it from the second part. So I'm nice and loud here, right? So I got back off. See how I work the volume pedal? So I back off. Remember, I hit the harmonic. When I'm playing those riffs, I'm about halfway depressed on the volume pedal. Now you don't have to use a volume pedal, but I'm throwing that in there because I thought it was neat to do. I watch people do this, and not that they play it bad. Better play it better than me. But anyway, they're not using a volume pedal, so I chose to use one because hey, it's more authentic to the album. All right, so let's take a look at the whole introduction, okay? And then I'll go on to the third part after this C. So here we go again from the beginning. Yeah, I didn't like that. Ready? Let's start there. Let's stop there. Let's do that kind of third time on the harmonics. Similarly to the second time you do this, you have the same motif, the same idea, but he plays an A. Goes back to the F sharp. So let's take a look at that again. Third time. I'm using the hinge move again. Playing it here. Okay? So first time is this. Really this. I'm going to go through all. Let's skip this. Let's just go through the three harmonic phases. All right? So we have this. First time. He plays this kind of all together, right? Or second time. Da 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 da, you go to the C. Third time you have this. Sorry, messed it up. Okay. So I'm going to do the whole intro from the beginning, all right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about fingerstyle. Now, in the beginning intro, do as you wish. Use your thumb. All right? I would use my thumb on this, or you can use all of these fingers here and pluck that. But I like using the thumb here on the harmonics because remember, he waves. So it's not just a pluck. You could do it that way. It's an arpeggiation. So realize that every time you do that, it's more of a arpeggiation, more harp-like. So you're strumming slowly. I'm going to do it all the way up to the fingerstyle thing. So I'll do it all the way up to that part, then we'll talk about that part, okay? All right, here we go from the intro again, okay? Very beginning. Remember, do the chord here, okay? And hit that volume pedal. Nice and loud. it gets tricky, okay? So we talked about playing freely, rubato. We talked about the harmonics. We talked about pull-offs. Now we got to talk about fingerstyle concepts. I play this fingerstyle. I believe he plays it picking fingers. I'm not sure. And I'm using a multi-act, but let's not get into, let's use the exact guitar he is. I know what he's using, a Martin, probably. Martin acoustic guitar. Sounds more like a steel string acoustic. But let's talk about, we talked about pull-ups. Let's talk about that fingerstyle concepts, okay? Because this could be real tricky. Now, when he goes to that part where it gets that classical guitar part, right? Right, so you have this. This. What I hear is this, right? I got to play, of course, he plays this D here along with that. So you're going to play the open D with the F sharp, right? So you have this. Hi, Kelly, how are you? Thank you. So you're going to play this open D, right? And you're going to play the first string open. Now, obviously, you have to do that down here, all right? I can back out, and I can show you, but I think it's easier if you can see this from here. All right. Now, it's very tough to see the fingerings here. I'll do it this way, all right? Watch. See that? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to back out so you can see exactly what I'm doing with my right hand. I'm going to talk about PIMA and all that, all right? Now, we're talking about right-hand fingerstyle. And when you're playing right-hand fingerstyle, the fingers, these fingers, right, have abbreviations or initials for them, or what you would. This is PIMA. So PIMA. Now, generally, not all the time, generally, your thumb is going to play more on the lower bass notes, okay? I bring my thumb up, the second string, I play it on the first string too. When you do something like this, okay? When you do something like this, if you take a look, you want to get a feeling of, hey, when you do this, I'm trying to get you a good angle here. Sorry, this isn't easy, all right? You want to get a feeling of alternating those fingers, just like alternating your pick. Right? Now, the way I would do this is play this and this together. So I go, right? This is live. I need like another camera almost for this. But watch. Let's take a look at the notes. The notes are this. Open D and this. Right? So you have this 16th note pull off again. And it sounds like this. Goes to the G. Play this 2, 3, 2, open, D. So the way I'm doing this is, I'm playing this. Look at my right hand. So I don't play anything on the pull-off, obviously. Right? I'm putting this at M. I'm using M for this. And going open. So let's see, you want to do it like this, right? Okay. So I have this here, D and F sharp. Now what happens? All right, here's where you get into your counterpuntal lines. All right, and the counterpoint, let's just keep it simple. The counterpoint is kind of using two notes to imply harmony, and things can move. They can move in the same direction, and they can move in different directions. Okay, So he's got some counterpoint going on, characteristic of, you know, the Baroque era. All right, there's not a lot of, you know, block chords in here. All right. Well, if you take a look, he's got his bass line. We're going to start out, it's a C chord, right? By the way, this is in the key of G, all right? Now watch when I do this. I'm going to go wide, all right? This, my thumb, when I go wider, my thumb is going to play the C, and I'm going to play the open A with this finger, okay? Let's do this. See that? So I have the C chord. See that? Now I'm going to play this here, M, which is my middle finger, on the D note, and I'm using 4 there. Okay? Then I on the C. Remember, I try to alternate my fingers. In this case, I'm going to go A, M, I, back to M. And the top notes, if you would, while you're holding the C, are... Ooh, it's hard to play like this. Okay, so I have this. So your notes there are E, D, C, B. Well, let's take a listen to that whole part. Again. Time. The C. Right, so again, C chord, this with this. This line's descending down. It's a scale, like E, Mi, Re, Do, Ti. All right, in the key of G, it would be La, Sol, Fa, Mi. That's based off of a C chord. When I go here, my bass notes, all right, my bass note's a B. All right. It's a B, and I play with a G. One of the things you probably should do is just play the bass notes with your thumb and play the melody separately. Okay, if you're not used to doing fingerstyle guitar, hearing those two parts. And I'll do that right now without, of course, the melodic, the high notes. I'm going to play the bass notes. F sharp here, right? Then open. So you have C. Right? So I'm going to zoom in, and you can see that really good when we're talking about those bass notes. Now, what he's doing there, he's coming down from a C chord and going, remember, we're in the key of G. Fa, Mi. So you have this here, right? See that? I zoom back out a little bit. And my camera angle straight here. So I have this C. Then you have your F sharp. Then E. Now in time, if you can play that, I'm not actually playing it in time, because I'm not playing the melody. I'm just showing you the bass notes. All right, because this would be 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again. Then it goes into the tune. Those are your bass notes. Now take a look at your melody, then you can put it together. I'll play it from the C, this is where the C would come in, on the E. G there. So we have this scale going down, jumps back up to the D, goes C, A. So each chord he plays on those bass lines, okay, he plucks another note of that chord. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, okay, except on the C chord here. Watch this. There's your scale in thirds. So he scales down, he plays a scale in thirds here, right? Sol, mi, fa, re. Sol, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, do. There he doesn't. He goes, you're expecting re, ti, do, but he does that in the bass. He plays that F sharp here, and then he goes to here, okay? All right, now let's take a look at the fingerings I would use for that. Okay? I'm doing this, trying to find the best way to do that. When I go to play the E, I'm going to play E, right? Then I'm going to go M, A, M, I, M. A, M, I, M. And that's all on this. So I have this, right? So what I'm doing again is I'm playing A on the open, M. Remember, I try to alternate my fingers. I try not to use the same finger twice in a row. Okay, it depends on how fast the passage is. This isn't really fast, but it's hard to use your same finger in a row, even at a moderate tempo. All right. Then I go inside. Now, my B and D, here's your chord. Okay, this is a G chord. So we're going to do this. We're going to play thumb on the B, and I'm going to play this chord, this G chord, G with a B in the bass if you would. I'm going to play it this way. Right? I'm going to play A here and my thumb here. Okay? And that's your chord here. Just those two notes. Here comes your counterpoint, right? Then the open B. So this chord, you're playing the bass note B along with the D with your fourth finger, open B, then this. This is an A minor sound. So I'm going to play this, open A, and along with the C, that's going to be my M finger. Then my I finger is going to play this A here. Okay? Then I'm going to go to a G chord. I'm going to play the G here, third finger. And then I'm going to play the B with my second finger, M, right? So my G is like this. I on the open G. Then I have this F sharp in A. Okay. So we're going to play that M. Then we're going to play open E. And that would be like an E minor chord. This to me is, I guess this to me is like a D7 chord. So you have the G chord here. Then he goes to A minor, okay? You could call it like an F sharp minor too. D7 with an F sharp in the bass. Going to E minor, okay? So remember, practice your bass notes. Well, let's do that really slow. I'm going to zoom out. It's tricky. What I'm learning here is kind of like my fingerstyle thing here. Okay? It's tricky to do both. However, hopefully taking you through this section here, all right, on all this, you can see what I'm doing here. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little more so you can see my right hand. You have this. to get this going here. And some of the things you want to practice, one of the main things I would practice if you're doing a right-hand fingerstyle, right, is I would practice just doing things like this on the open string. P, I here on this string, M, A, and get that going back and forth. Right? So you have this. P, I. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Watch. Zoom that in a little more so you can see what I'm doing there with my right hand. Maybe this was a better way to do this here. It's hard to see everything. It's hard to, look at everything. Let's take a look here. Look at my right hand. Notice this is very rounded. My wrist's up here. Okay? If you take a look, my wrist is up. Look at the shape of my wrist. Okay. Let's look down that. Notice my fingers are right over there, curved, and I'm swinging towards. You're swinging. Okay. When you swing this here, you're swinging more towards the back of your palm. Your hand's rounded out. So try to aim. Try to aim when you're doing this for back here. Okay? You have that shape of your hand going like this. And I'm always thinking I gotta move to, let's see, I gotta move to, give me a straight hand. I gotta move like this. Okay? I'm aiming for the back of my hand here. Because if you're too much like this, you're using the front joints. So there's a lot going on in this tune. Just in this intro. I'm going to redo it. If I don't like it, I'll redo it. See that? So that's a good way to practice. Now, if I take a look here, so I have this again. You see my right and my left hand here. Okay. So remember, get that finger style going. Get this going. You're using all your fingers back and forth. It's going to take you a while. Remember your thumb swings. Okay? Your thumb swings. Don't swing your thumb into your hand. And one of the things you're teaching fingerstyle guitar, people start swinging their thumb, right? They swing it into their hand like this. Try to get it as circular motion so it's moving like this. And you're not swinging into your hand, see? Instead of swinging into your finger, all right? A lot of times you can swing into this finger here. So you want this, okay? Hands round, my thumb's over here. Good way to put it. Take a look at your thumb here. Tremolo, if it's good, if you can put it. A lot of things to the nails. I messed up in the beginning there playing that part, and one of the things is you have to be careful with when you do this is I took a shower not too long ago and my nails were very soft, and I didn't realize it, and I'm playing this and I just messed it up. I was a little nervous too for some reason, maybe because I'm a big Steve Howe fan. So we'll take a look. If you don't like the intro, the way I played it in the intro, I'll redo the whole thing. But I think the instruction's going well here on how to do that. And I'm going to play, there's a lot going on here to play this right. I'm going to play the whole thing, but in a minute, again. But first, let's listen to this part nice and slow, the counterpunch lines, okay, with the bass notes and everything. So I got this. If you want to get into the tune, obviously I'd be here for 9 hours teaching you the tune, the whole tune. What he does right after that, he goes into more harmonics. You can play chords too. but he goes into more harmonics. You know, that's when Chris Squire kind of, and the whole band, boom, 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 boom. So one of the things he does is he goes into more harmonics. And I'm going to do that, then I'll show you what he's doing. So again on that, he's playing the second and third string here at the 7th fret, right over the 7th fret. They don't ring out as good as the 12th, but then you go to the 5th fret and you play string 4 and 3. Okay? So he's got this going on here. To here. To here. And play around with that, right? He plays the chords that way. So you have to listen to that and get that going. All right, that's not the main part of the lesson. I just wanted to give you the introduction here. I'm going to play this counterpoint part again. Then we'll do the whole thing a few times, okay? That last chord will be like an E minor. He goes to an F sharp. That would be your chords if you were doing it. So F sharp minor, G, F sharp minor, G, F sharp minor, E minor. Okay? He plays smaller chords there. So let's take this from the edge again. Okay, I'm gonna play it with the volume pedal and everything, and hopefully it comes out good. All right, here we go. Remember what I said. And I got my volume pedal off. I'm gonna hit this really loud and come into it. All right, here we go. And there's your intro. You want to hear it one more time? One more time, nice and slow. All right. Volume pedal over. That first chord's kind of an E minor, so here we go again. One more time. Nice and loud, volume pedal off, all the way off. Hardly hear that. Here we go. Have it, okay? Now, quickly, I want to talk about using a Godin guitar, okay? This is a multi-act guitar. It's a MIDI guitar. So basically, I'm not using any effects on this. I'm using the Godin. It's not hooked up to MIDI. However, this is a classical electric guitar, and it's really a great instrument. I'm so happy I bought this. It has a radius on the neck, so it's similar to electric. The neck's, it's a little thick, like a classical, because you need to be able to get your fingers in there. All right? And it's a nylon string guitar, but it has the radius. If you take a look here, it's got a radius like an electric guitar or an acoustic guitar. So it's not a flat fretboard, and it's a 1 7/8 here at the nut. So it makes it, if you have smaller hands or your hands are on the smaller sides like me, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to play. Because I love playing classical guitar, but I always have problems. You know, now they're making like smaller fretboards on the classical guitar, but I love the rounded fretboard, okay? The radius, meaning the radius, and the 1 7/8, and it's just perfect, okay? and it's not very expensive, and it's a MIDI guitar as well. So if you know what MIDI is, all right, here's my there's my MIDI pin, and you need a. I found out on this, if you're using the Godin guitar, I found out that I have an old GR20 MIDI hooked up to the Strat, which is a pickup that was installed on the Strat, and that hooks up to an old GR Roland 20. And this doesn't work that well with the synth. So you probably have to get a newer GR55 or something. The GR20 is like 20 years old. I don't think they make it anymore. But if you do have an old one, you're not going to get that many good MIDI sounds and things of that nature. So you might want to take a look at that. What else? I had something else to say. I couldn't think of it. All right, so we talked about rubato, playing freely. That means like free time, free, robbed of time. We talked a lot about harmonics, fingerstyle concepts, pull-offs, counterpoint. You know, the guitar I'm using in the effects, right? And really the only effect I'm using is, if you would, is not even an effect. It is an expression pedal as well. It's a Dunlap volume pedal, which works out good for this song. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I did. It's going on 50 minutes here. I'm going to take a look at it. Sometimes I redo these. I said, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. You know, you never could prepare enough of these. I like to be thorough. And I think the whole concept with the fingerstyle, really, maybe I'll redo this. I really got to start thinking about it. Not that I can't teach it, but when you're doing a video, you know, a video like this, it gets, you know, it's hard to, on a video, to teach the fingerstyle. So you have to separate things. Maybe I could get through this a little more efficiently. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Was it efficient? Was it good if you're watching? But again, I love Yes. I would say Steve Howe inspired me to play guitar. I was listening to him for a while, you know, with the Fragile and the Yes album, and I always loved Yes. And I started playing guitar. I think he's one of the coolest guitar players because, you know, he played classical guitar, he played acoustic guitar, he played country guitar, he played rock. He's very jazz oriented too, and he plays multiple instruments. And kind of like I'm similar to that mold, kind of like the Renaissance man. Okay, that's I think what I like about him. So I've been referred to as that as well. Not to blow my own horn. All right, and so we talked about some things. There was something I wanted to say about the nails. I use shorter nails. When you're playing with nails, you really got to think about, you know, how the shape of your hand, how your nails are shaped. Right? You take a look. If my nails, all right, I keep them shorter, but this is something really interesting that I kind of learned subconsciously about nails. And then I was watching a video of Christopher Parkin because it drove him crazy. And he defined it. I didn't know what I was doing right. But he said, you know, sometimes my nails feel really good when they're long. Sometimes they feel really good when they're short or medium. And he couldn't figure it out. And he went to engineers. He actually had molds made up. And he figured out that as long as his nails, well, they were long, they were short, they were medium, they had the same resistance to them. That's important. They had the same resistance. So he had trouble doing, like, let's say, you know, tremolo. So he was doing, you know, this or something. You know, this. Remember what I was doing before tremolo? Okay. All right. So doing stuff like that, he always had trouble doing, and he really had to work on it. But he figured out part of it was his nails. So I was always pretty good at that. You got to play tremolo pieces to be good at that if you're a little lacking in them. So that's the whole thing. But he figured out that it's the resistance. So you file your nails so they feel the same going through the strings, like a pick. Okay? Does a pick have a certain resistance? Like if your pick is wearing out, it's making scraping noises and all that. So I thought that was really cool. I love listening to, you know, anyone, videos and interviews on all kinds of things. Yeah, I enjoyed doing this a lot. So I'm going to take a listen to it. Hopefully it's, you know, came out good and you enjoyed watching it and you can learn from it. Okay. So I shall see. Oh, this is what I want to say. Another great product. What's Mike using here? Mike is using something called the guitar lift. This is awesome, okay? Because it allows you to play without using a footstool. And you know, if you're playing in classical guitar, you use a footstool so you can get this up, right? If you take a look at this, it's suction cuffs on here. Right? Maybe I should do a whole thing on that. And you set it up to what you want. There's two or three different types. And I put this on my right leg. Okay, a lot of classical guitar players, if they're fretty lefty, they put the guitar here on their left leg. That pushes it too far out for me, and I never like that. So with this guitar and with the guitar lift, hey, remember, it's a suction. You can set this up however you want on the guitar. You need more of a flat back guitar, though. Okay? Hi, whoever that is. Okay. Hello, how are you? VR.FY for my information. All right. Thanks for tuning in, VURFYI. And take a look at the guitar lift. All right. You can buy this. Look up the guitar lift. And you can reposition. See where the screws are? You can reposition where the suction cups are. And there's 4 of them, and it really holds the guitar really well. So I really love this. Remember, you need a flat back. Okay? And I feel so much less stress using this along with the goading guitar. So you can use it with a strap too. It is a little shaky. One of the things, when you're playing fingerstyle guitar, you got to hold the guitar very still. I know you rock guys are flipping the guitar around, but you know, it's so easy to get a little sloppy here when you're playing classical guitar. That guitar's got to sit still. And that's what I love about this guitar and those products. I could actually use it as a strap, so that guitar sits very still. Okay? If you're playing in classical guitar pieces, you know, one guitar's moving around, you can make mistakes very easily. They show up very easy. Okay, it's hard enough to play classical guitar, so let's make it easier on ourselves. All right. So again, that was very cool for you Instagram folks. You can't see the graphics here of everything, but I'm gonna go to my Play Like a Pro on YouTube and everything else. And we shall see you next time.
Play like a pro at String Sound Studio.